with a chance to take the lead. Kaepernick, end zone, front three. Broken up, picked off. This game is over.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to 12 Minutes Every Time. I'm Mike Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey, and we're here to do the Week 6 review of the loss at Cincinnati. The Bengals beat us 17-13. It was a very tough loss because we know we could have won that game. The 49ers took a L as well in Cleveland, so it would have been a half game out if we would have won. It's very unfortunate. Anyway, as usual, this is 12 minutes, so we're going to start it now. All right, Ryan, we're going to talk about the positives. Even though it was a negative of a loss and there was a lot of things disappointing, we're going to talk about the positives. And I think the most offensive or the most obvious positive is our defense.
Yeah, I mean, easily the defense showed up, man. It was exciting to watch.
It was exciting.
It was exciting to watch. Like, Devin was everywhere. Witherspoon was everywhere. He was stopping, he was getting in pass routes. Like, he was knocking balls out of people's hands. Trey Brown actually really stepped up, played amazingly. He had a pick that he was just draped all over Jamar Chase, ran the route better than him, and then had a pass breakup against T. Higgins on third down to give us the ball back, to give us one more chance to go down there and try to score that touchdown and win. I thought Trey Brown was a highlight. Like, I thought he was the highlight of the game, that he performed as well as he did, because the other two corners out there are studs, right? Jamal Adams, a stud out there, right? He played phenomenal all throughout the game. Hit. He's just so good. And then Trey Brown out there getting the pick, actually stepping it up. It's like, okay, now I'm not worried about this. Not these DBs whatsoever.
Yeah, it was definitely a huge confidence booster in the individual play. And overall, they just looked more cohesive. After the two initial touchdown drives by the Bengals, there was 6 punts and an interception on all the drives. And they only had the one field goal off of the interception on DK's mistake. So overall, that was amazing. Burrow only had 185 passing yards. So actually, hats off to them to get those 2 touchdowns on the opening drive, because that really was such a big factor in that first quarter and into the second quarter. And the 46 rushing yards. Go ahead, Ryan.
I think that they had a game plan out to go out there. They were dipping and hitting quick routes those first 2 drives. And then we're like, you're not going to do that anymore. And we were slapping balls away. We were getting people's way. Like, we were hitting guys as they're trying to catch the ball. We were cutting off routes. Like, we just shut that down. And that's old school Seahawks football. Somebody came out there with a good game plan against us, and they scored a couple points. 14 points is nothing in this league.
No.
And then we shut them down after that, only allowing them the 3 points after an interception. And it was still like a 52-yard goal.
In their last 8 drives, 1 field goal, 6 punts, 1 interception, 1 field goal. That's very good to see. And yeah, I kind of felt the click somewhere in maybe towards the end of the half, into the first half, where our defense just looked confident. Even we've mentioned our DBs over and over, and we probably will, because we could have multiple Pro Bowlers if things continue this week. But our defensive line and our linebackers were looking very well, and everyone was going downhill. Everyone was attacking. It was nice to see such good aggression, positive aggression.
I mean, this will be the most Pro Bowlers we've had since the old Seahawks defenses, right? I mean, Bobby's clearly an All-Pro. Devin Witherspoon could be, defensive Rookie of the Year. Tariq Woolen be an All-Pro, maybe a Pro Bowler. And then you've got on the D line, Jerron Reed is playing phenomenal. Nwosu's playing phenomenal. Bofa, he's playing phenomenal. And, he is the best rush win percentage against anyone right now. He's dominating out the line. So
everyone just looks really, really sharp. They look confident. They're aggressive. I've said that again. And you're right. Mafe and Nwosu, they are attacking. Reed is attacking. Jones looks like a hell of a free agent signing, which usually you hold your breath on free agent signings when you give them that much money. And they all seem to like each other, like in a sense of they may not hang out outside of the locker room, but they like each other on the field, and they like what everyone presents individually. They really thrive off each other, it seems, so far. And so far it looks really good. And with the next week against a bit of a lesser Cardinals team, we really hope to continue that on. One other positive we wanted to talk about was JSN playing well, much better than the past previous weeks.
Yeah, they figured out ways to get him open. And what was nice is that he didn't just go down as soon as someone made contact with him or go down as soon as he caught the ball. He had yards after catch. That was a big deal.
And Bobo as well. Bobo had 2 huge catches, took a huge hit, didn't drop. Yeah, more Bobo.
Bobo had the lead block on that first rushing touchdown by Kenneth Walker. Phenomenal lead block. But he never came back after the big hit. And I'm wondering if that affected us running in the red zone. I don't know. But, if he's that good of a run blocker, he should be out there.
I agree. I think it's an advantage because you're not using a tight end or an extra O lineman, and you have a receiver that can come out from the side, come across, or however. And actually, I just saw a play right now where Adams, unfortunately, blew up hometown boy Trent Irwin on a run play. I mean, he drilled him, and it was no contact. The quote was, "Adams enjoys violence." So we're halfway through. Enough positives. Defense. We love it. Offense, you're going to be a little more on the negative side right now. We'll just start off with our O-line, as we usually have. They looked bad. They didn't look as good. I know there was a couple of injuries there, and also I'll add in that Waldron, maybe the protection wasn't there in his scheme and what he wanted to go about that week.
Yeah, I think that's just the biggest frustrating part is when you're inside the 5-yard line and you come away with 0 points, and that happened multiple drives. That's where you get the most frustrated, right? Why aren't they putting themselves in good position to get a guy open? You watch other teams who have dynamic offenses and they're just like scheming and they're like walking into the end zone.
Yeah.
And you're like, where is that for us? We're like, throwing tight coverage plays to DK in the corner, tight coverage plays to the pylon to Tyler Lockett, and trying to just pound the rock and not getting a yard. What are we doing? Like, why can't we win some battle and get somebody open to push that football on? And what I really hate watching, and you woke up at the 6:30 game, you watch Malik Willis, and you're like, dude, don't hold on to the ball that long while you're in the red zone. You got to get rid of it. You can't take sacks there. And then you watch it a Thursday night game against with our boy Derek Carr, does the same thing, holds the ball forever in the red zone, get rid of the ball. And then you see Regino holds the ball forever in the red zone. He's getting sacked, he's getting pushed back, and we're having, turnover on downs twice because of him.
Yeah. And hats off to the Bengals. They did get to us. They were just as their pass rush was just as effective as ours. Yeah. And it was a very defense. It was a defensive matchup, but it is extremely frustrating. 2 drives of no points. We can't have that. You mentioned earlier, 14 points is not a lot in the NFL. They had 17 total. That's not a lot. We should be scoring 20, if not closer to 27, 28 points per game. And we may have been averaging that so far. So maybe that was more of the Bengals combined with our bad O-line play, not being as confident in the red zone. Maybe Waldron had some plays drawn up that just he didn't like, or however it went. There's so many variables that go in. So go ahead, you had something?
Yeah, I mean, I did see that the bootleg wasn't looking great out there, but they're still effective with it, right? Like, they still get yards.
Yes.
But the bootleg wasn't the way it was against other teams. And I totally saw that, especially the second time I watched the game. But this, I was like, all right, bootleg doesn't look great out there, but I still want to see it. You're so good. It's your bread and butter. You're so effective with it. You could get yards with this. Just like, they talk all night about how some guys are just really good at doing screen passes. We're terrible with the screens.
We're terrible.
We're amazing with the bootleg. So use that even in those positions. Like, I mean, I would rather have seen them try to a bootleg and then get a sack that way than just to sit there and watch him hold the ball and not get rid of it and then just wham, like hit. Yeah, I don't want to see that. And I also was bummed about, I didn't see Charbonnet one time get the ball in that 5-yard range. And I get it. Like, Kenneth Walker is great too. But it was like, all right, Kenneth Walker, here's your chances. Here's your chances. All right, didn't work. Now let's bring in Charbonnet to do this, right? Like, let's try somebody else. I just watched this Thursday night game with Derek Carr and the Saints, and I sat there and go, all right, Alvin Kamara's not getting it in there. Put Taysom Hill in. He's so big. Just give him the ball and take him in there. I don't mind watching that at all. I thought it was awesome.
Yes, so it's important to have good depth, or as Charbonnet's a little bigger than Walker, so why not give him the opportunity?
Yeah.
There's a lot of because we continually talk about the third downs. Same thing in the red zone. Those are such critical plays, and those need to be converted. We can't blow those opportunities in a sense. We only have about a minute and a half left. Real quick, penalties on Walker and DK really hurt us. DK had a terrible route on the interception. He did admit that. And Gino also admitted how bad he didn't get it to JSN on wide open, and DK was wide open on the play. So those were also things that they weren't on third down or in the red zone, but those definitely hurt us. Those are huge negatives.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a lot of positives in the offense. We know things are there. It's just that we just need to execute them out there when the game's going on. And we need to be creative sometimes. And I definitely don't want to see in the next game us getting into the red zone and unable to score touchdowns. That's something you have to fix right away, because that's frustrating. That's not fun to watch anymore. It's like, all right, so we can just drive down on teams all day, but we can't score in the red zone because you guys don't know how to call a play. Yeah, that's not fun.
No, you're right. We have the talent. In the receivers, we have the talent in the tight ends. We have the size. We have speed. We have a plethora of options and weapons to use. And it just needs that's something that Gino and offensive line and Waldron probably just need to get better at. All right, we have about 30 seconds left. We're going to wrap it up with special teams. How did you feel about our special teams play week 6?
At best, I still think we're number one in special teams. We're dominant. Myers hit all his field goals. Dixon was punting great, and then DJ Dallas put us in great field position. He drove us down to like the 45-yard line of Cincinnati on a punt return during the second half, and I thought that was phenomenal. I was like, dude, you did it. You're putting us in the right position to go win this game, and we just still didn't execute on offense. But the special teams is playing great. Yeah,
it's very nice to see that be consistent. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's unfortunate we got the loss, and it's always tough to go back and watch a loss. But it's something we should do, and we like doing as well, though, for the podcast. Everybody, thank you once again. It's 12 minutes every time. We'll be previewing week 7 here in a few days. Thank you very much. I'm Mike Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey. Let's go Hawks in defense, stepping it up.
Yeah, let's go Hawks, baby. Woo!